Some men think stamina just fades away with age, like it's a fact of life. But what if I told you that bedroom stamina slipping isn't just about getting older, and it's almost never about bad genes or luck? The truth is, most men sabotage their own endurance and satisfaction without realizing it because they fall into traps nearly everyone falls for, habits and misconceptions that chip away at performance, recovery, and even that feeling of being truly alive with your partner. I hear it every week, men reaching out, embarrassed or even defeated, wondering why their energy and staying power aren't what they used to be. Katie, it caught me off guard. I used to have endless stamina, but now halfway through, I'm done, or I can't even get started. Or I thought my mind was in it, but my body just isn't. It's not your fault if you've noticed these changes. You're not broken and you don't lack willpower. What's happening is you're probably getting hit by the same silent mistakes so many men make after 50. Before we get started, drop a quick comment down below. Tell me where you're watching from. I love tracking how many driven, curious men are tuning in from every corner of the world. My full disclaimer is in the description below. Let's cut through the noise and shine some light on these stamina killers, one by one. This is the beginning of a journey back toward powerful, dependable energy in the bedroom, a journey any man can take and every man deserves. If you ask most guys what sabotages stamina after 50, they probably blame old age, a stressful job, or just being out of shape. The reality is far more interesting and far more solvable. The body is an astonishing machine, and even with decades on the clock, it can rebuild stamina and capacity with the right support. But only if you stop making these common, often invisible mistakes. Mistake 1. And it's absolutely the most ignored, treating stamina as a matter of intensity rather than consistency. So many men believe they have to hype themselves up for intimacy, relying on adrenaline or last-minute bursts of energy. Maybe that meant pounding an energy drink ahead of a big night or slamming through a heavy workout in hopes of building drive. The science and my experience as your coach couldn't be clearer. Stamina is built through frequent, moderate, nourishing routines, not heroic effort or willpower. Let's get concrete. When you chase intensity like sudden fasting, marathon exercise, especially if you haven't been training, or random supplements, you're sending stress signals to your body. That triggers a spike in cortisol, your stress hormone, which immediately begins turning down your body's ability to deliver blood to where you need it. Your blood vessels get more reactive, but not in the good way. Their flexibility drops, and your muscles, including those crucial to performance, get tired faster. What's worse? Those hacks drain the very reserve of energy you need for passion, replacing it with short-lived, artificial boosts that leave you flat when the moment is right. I worked with a client, let's call him Mark, who was stuck in this exact cycle. Mark loved going big in everything, his work, his workouts, even his weekends. He'd been a tough-it-out kind of guy all his life. But by his mid-50s, he noticed he was more and more wiped out after intimacy, to the point where it took days to feel himself again. Together, we built a totally new approach. Instead of random, high-intensity training, we set up a plan of short, daily walks, gentle resistance work, even yoga. No more punishing routines, just consistent, manageable movement. He swapped the pre-workout powders for a glass of beet juice and some nuts. After a month, he wasn't just lasting longer. He had new mental clarity, woke up fresher, and even his partner described him as composed and confident, not frantic or stressed. For him, that switch from peaks and crashes to steady, regular input made all the difference. Passion is a marathon, not a sprint. Mistake number 2 is one that might surprise you. It's thinking of sleep as an optional luxury, as something you can shave off or catch up on later. If you're like a lot of men I talk to, you might pride yourself on functioning on 5 or 6 hours a night. Some of you even see it as a badge of honor, a sign of toughness or discipline. The brutal reality is that the less you sleep, the lower your testosterone, the weaker your erections, and the worse your stamina. This isn't theory. Multiple clinical studies show that even a single week of short sleep drops your testosterone by as much as 15 to 20%. Break the habit across months or years, and the effects only get worse. Sleep is when your body repairs blood vessels, restores neurotransmitters, the signals that drive pleasure and arousal, and floods your system with growth hormone and the testosterone you need for desire and performance. Miss out. And it's like trying to run a high-powered race car on half a tank of fuel, and dirty fuel at that. You don't make it as far, your recovery time balloons, and the spark plugs of your system don't fire the way they should. A man I coached, Anthony, was a classic case. Early riser, busy granddad, always putting his family and business first, himself last. When he hit his early 60s, he started feeling completely wrung out. No matter how fit he stayed, he could barely muster the energy for even quick intimacy, and any staying power evaporated by the time things really got interesting. Together, we rebuilt his evenings, screens off early, dinner by 7,000, a 10-minute walk after meals, a nightly ritual with chamomile tea and some slow breathing. Within weeks, he reported not only stronger, more lasting arousal, but a genuine excitement about intimacy, something he said he hadn't felt since his 40s. His wife's verdict? He just feels more available and present now, not checked out or exhausted. Now, let's talk about food. Mistake 3. Eating with old habits instead of biological needs. Sometimes that means rushing through meals, sometimes it's eating for convenience, sometimes it's just not realizing how critical certain nutrients are for your stamina. And this is where a lot of the myths trip men up. For many, it means too much processed starch, not enough colorful vegetables, or relying on animal protein without the balance of healthy fats and plant nutrients that actually keep your blood flowing, your hormones stable, and your recovery solid. When you eat too many processed carbs, sugar, or heavy greasy foods, your body goes into inflammation mode. That means blood vessels narrow, become less responsive to nitric oxide, the molecule responsible for blood flow to your most sensitive areas, and your insulin response goes haywire, zapping your energy just when you need it. On the flip side, skip meals or starve yourself trying to lose a few pounds, and your body starts conserving energy. Another enemy of stamina. As your men's vitality coach, here's what I see work over and over. Add, don't subtract. Add more color in your vegetables. Think greens, reds, oranges. Add potassium and magnesium found in things like pumpkin seeds, bananas, spinach to support your vascular function and muscle fatigue. Swap processed grains for oats, rye, or quinoa. A daily mix of blueberries or tart cherries goes a long way to lower inflammation and even boost dopamine, the desire chemical in your brain. Jack, a client who never thought food made a difference, swore up and down that he was just a meat guy. By experimenting, he started his day with a basic smoothie, spinach, frozen berries, walnuts, and almond milk. Lunch meant roasted veggies with fish. Dinner was built around whole grains and greens alongside his favorite steak a few times a week. He sent me a message after 3 weeks, humbled and amazed. Sex is better, my energy holds much longer, and I sleep like a teenager. But the trap here is to think, I'll just grab a supplement and fix it all at once. Reality check, no pill replaces food synergy. Supplements fine-tune things, but real stamina comes from whole foods, regularly eaten, with just enough variety to give your body what it needs and what your partner will notice. Mistake 4, and one of the sneakiest, is letting background stress become your new normal. It's easy not to notice how much stress snowballs, especially for men over 50 who might be dealing with more responsibilities than ever. Unchecked, this chronic, low-level stress jacks up cortisol, which doesn't just drain your enjoyment and focus, it goes after your testosterone, recovery, and even your willingness to initiate or sustain intimacy. How does this show up? Maybe you start overthinking things before intimacy even happens, or you notice you're more irritable and distracted, making it harder to tune in and stay in the moment. The knock-on effect is huge. More stress means less blood flow, less drive, longer recovery, and a loss of the "I got this" confidence that used to be your signature. Reversing this starts small. For some men, it's about creating a buffer between work and home. 10 minutes in the car with music, a hot shower, even a short walk after dinner, not as exercise, but to decompress. For others, it's about building a moment of silence before bed or making relaxation a new nightly tradition with your partner. Slow touch, laughter, even reminiscing about good times together. A client of mine, Peter, spent decades as a workaholic, convinced that stress was just part of the deal. It showed in his stamina, unpredictable, fleeting, often accompanied by performance worries. Only after he admitted to his wife and himself that stress was crushing his drive did things start to shift. Together, they built a routine TV off by 9, talking about anything except work, sometimes reading together or even playing cards. 2 weeks in, his stamina didn't just return, it flourished, and his wife started calling their evenings the second honeymoon. Nothing boosts stamina and confidence like genuine connection and support. Sharing what you're going through, even if it's awkward at first, opens up creative problem solving, emotional reassurance, and brings you closer together. When you hold back, your partner senses tension and distance, which can build into a feedback loop of anxiety and lower performance. But when you're honest, even about the tough stuff, you replace shame and stress with trust and possibility. I remember working with Tom, a dedicated provider and quiet man. For years, he kept quiet about his worries over stamina, thinking it was his private cross to bear. When he finally opened up to his wife, just simply saying, "I want us to work on this together," she responded, not with criticism, but with affection, new ideas, and a huge wave of relief. In the weeks that followed, not only did his performance improve, but their relationship as a whole deepened in ways they never expected. It never fails to amaze me how much shifts the moment a man decides to share the reality of his journey, not just the highlights. Even if your partner doesn't have all the answers, the act of teaming up facing challenges side by side transforms isolation into possibility, fear into excitement, and uncertainty into action. There's a reason that even decades into a relationship, a simple touch, a moment of vulnerability, or a new adventure together can breathe energy back into your connection, and with it, your stamina and drive. Now, if you recognize yourself in any of these mistakes, don't buy into the lie that change is out of reach. The body is astonishingly responsive to correction, even after years of tough habits or repeated frustration. It's not about perfection, it's about daily shifts, honest self-reflection, and the willingness to invest just a bit more intention in your routines. Stamina isn't something you're born with or something that disappears forever after a certain age. It's built and rebuilt moment by moment through choices both big and small. So how do you turn these lessons into power? The first principle, treat your body like a trusted partner, not a stubborn machine. That means paying attention to subtle feedback energy after meals, morning wakefulness, how quickly you recover from effort, or how deeply you sleep. The truly successful men I coach don't wait for crisis. They seek out the little signals, making micro adjustments before small problems become big ones. Start by prioritizing recovery, not just action. If you hit a busy week or face a rough patch at work or with your health, don't punish yourself with guilt or impossible standards. Instead, carve out extra room for deep rest and gentle movement. Give yourself permission to nap, to go to bed earlier, or to linger a little longer over a slow meal. You'll be shocked at how much vitality comes back when your system isn't starved for recovery. Next, get deliberate about movement. Not for the sake of exercise itself, but for the feeling of aliveness and strength it unlocks. The men who last longest in life and in the bedroom are the ones who move regularly and with a sense of enjoyment. That doesn't mean pounding away at a treadmill for hours or chasing after fad routines. It could be a brisk walk in the park after dinner, lifting light weights in your garage, 10 minutes of stretching with music you love, or even learning a new sport or activity just to wake up those long dormant muscles. I'm constantly inspired by clients who discover new forms of movement. One man picked up ballroom dancing with his wife, another joined a local walking group, another started swimming laps for the first time since high school. All reported not just better fitness, but deeper self-confidence, improved mood, and a renewed spark that carried into their intimate lives. There's no single formula. What matters is regularity, variety, and a sense of play and progress. Nutrition remains a foundation. Think of it as building the materials your body needs to create energy, fuel recovery, and sustain desire. If you've ever felt sluggish or as if your tank hits empty sooner than you'd like, take a closer look at your plate. Are you giving yourself enough natural color, enough healthy fats, enough slow-burning carbohydrates? Are you hydrating throughout the day or letting thirst sneak up and kill your performance? Experiment with new recipes. Try swapping one meal a day for a bowl built from raw greens, colorful vegetables, seeds, and healthy protein. Test what happens to your energy when you ditch sugary snacks for a mix of nuts and berries in the afternoon. Even adding one green smoothie or a serving of lentil soup each week can make a marked difference. And don't underestimate hydration. A single glass of water before intimacy can make you more alert, responsive, and physically ready. Let's address supplementation shortly and directly. Yes, some targeted supplements can help fill gaps, especially things like magnesium for muscle and nerve health, omega-3s for inflammation, or L-citrulline and beetroot powder for blood flow. But none of these will ever be a substitute for regular, balanced meals and habits. Think of them as supportive allies, not miracle cures. Mentally, develop your stamina mindset, that blend of curiosity, gratitude, and solution-seeking that keeps you growing even after setbacks. Start noticing when negative thoughts or doubts creep in. Instead of fighting them, pause and ask, what's really true? What could I try differently next time? What would I tell a close friend if he were facing this? This compassionate mindset is proven in research to reduce anxiety and performance fear, unlocking the kind of relaxed, natural energy that makes stamina second nature. Connection with your partner, or if you're single, with yourself, is the fuel that ignites everything else. Intimacy is a team effort, and the best teams thrive on trust, shared goals, and honest feedback. Instead of avoiding difficult conversations, lean in gently. Ask what your partner enjoys, what she misses, what might make things more exciting for both of you. Even planning together, an evening free from distractions, a slow massage, a new adventure outside the bedroom keeps anticipation alive and lets you both feel empowered, not pressured. The emotional payoff is real. One of my favorite stories is from a couple who, after months of detachment, simply started hugging for a full 30 seconds every day. It felt silly at first, but it became a touchstone for their connection. Soon, laughter returned, banter followed, and their intimacy felt exciting again. This isn't just sentimentality. Physical affection, even non-sexual, releases oxytocin, which lowers stress, boosts your mood, and prepares the body for desire. Never forget, stamina is not about youth, bravado, or proving yourself by force. It's about showing up, tweaking course, and staying willing to invest, even when results feel slow or frustrating at first. Your body will thank you. Your partner will notice. And most importantly, you'll become the kind of man whose presence, patience, and fire don't fade with age, but deepen. Now, what does your action plan look like moving forward? Begin with honest self-assessment. Can you point to one of those silent stamina killers in your recent habits? Skip sleep, low-nutrient meals, pushing too hard with intensity and too little with consistency, bottling up stress or worries, holding back from real connection? If even one resonates, pick a small, doable experiment. A slightly earlier bedtime, a new vegetable, a minor tweak in routine. Commit to it, track your progress, and invite feedback from your partner or a trusted friend. If you're skeptical, let curiosity lead. Treat the upcoming days and weeks as a laboratory for your vitality. See what happens to your mood, your confidence, your staying power inside and outside the bedroom when you break just one of these old patterns. The best part? Every positive step is cumulative. Your stamina, unlike your old smartphone, gets better with regular charging, not worse. Soon enough, you'll find that the man you're becoming is not only more capable in intimacy, but more fulfilled, energized, and present in all of life. Let me know in the comments, which of these mindsets or strategies are you going to try first? What's one habit you're committing to for the next week? Reading your responses and hearing your progress is the best part of my job and helps other men realize how common and how solvable these challenges really are. And if you want to keep receiving the kind of practical, insider knowledge that most men never get, make sure you're subscribed. Every week, we go a layer deeper with new strategies, direct solutions, and real talk for men who want more out of life and intimacy. Finally, if this video made you think of one specific person, a friend, a brother, someone you care about who needs to hear this message, share it directly with them. You never know, your gesture could be what helps them regain energy, confidence, or even turn around a relationship. That's real impact. That's the power of community and connection. I'm Katie, your men's vitality coach, and if nobody's told you lately, you are not alone in this. Every day you invest in yourself, you're building a foundation for stamina, connection, and fulfillment that truly gets better with age. Let's keep going, one step, one choice, one good night at a time.